The hell? Tom done hung up on me. Tom, where you at? Where the hell Tom at? Tom supposed to be on here. Tom done hung up on me. We was late because of time. We had to make sure Tom was on here. Tom, where you at? Holler at your boy.
Hey, what's going on, man? You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on. You ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on. You ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Hey, your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braids, took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was banking on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play the fun. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Poet, and Swahili, I'm a Damu. My little cousin making Paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Five Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch your fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
Special shout out to Laken Riley, not Lincoln Riley, is Joe Biden called. I want to give a shout out to Lincoln Riley. And it's not Lincoln Riley. It's Laken Riley. Get it straight. Say her name. What's up with the chat? You know what I'm saying? If you want to hurry up, I'm trying to see if Tom done try to get into the building. If you want to write a skit or something, a joke or something in there, we're having an open session before we get into the show, right? If you have a joke on request that you want to talk about, you know, you may want to talk about a transgender joke. You may want to talk about a Joe Biden joke, the View joke, whatever you want. Put it in the chat right now. Let me see if I can come up with a joke for it. Put it up in the chat. It's your topic day. What you want to talk about? What you want to chat about? What you want to do before we get into the video? Might as well have some fun. I mean, I am a comedian. I do jokes. What we got in the chat? What we got in the chat? We miss you. Oh, MB Garage. What's up with the MB Garage? What channel I'm on? Oh, I'm on a whole different channel. I got 2 channels going on because I'm waiting to see if Tom can get up in here. I'm waiting to see if Tom not even up in here. What up with Miss Chocolate and Coco? Thank you for the donation, Miss Chocolate and Coco. Thank you for the donation. Do we got any joke requests in the building right now? Do we got any joke requests while we here while I'm on one? We got anybody want got a topic they want to joke about before we get into the school choice, right? Before we get into this, the View. It's funny how some people, like black people, right, when they say, right, they want black people to have advantages and they want them to have privileges, just not the privileges they got. You know what I'm saying? Like Sonny, Holston, and Joy Reid and shit. They got all they fucking accolades and all that shit, but they just don't want people to get what they got. Black people tricky like that. Let me see the chat. Let me see. The best joke this week, The View. Oh, The View is getting roasted. I think The View is finna get canceled, right? You ain't got no look. They need to have a point of view. They need to have a man on there. They need to call it a point of view, right? And have one point, and that's a male point of view on there. You got too many women on there, and the male dominant or the female dominant is Sunny. She telling people, I don't know how she's the head son of a bitch. I don't know where she came from. I thought Whoopi was the head hen bitch, was the head witch, right? But I know it was Sonny, but Sonny taking over the show, right? And I got Sonny up in here. Sonny get her ass handled. I think Sonny finna get off the show, or they finna find somebody. Somebody got to go. Somebody on the View got to go. Somebody got to go, right? But okay, y'all ain't no drug request. The head witch. Yeah, she the head witch. Whoopi is the head witch, and she look like the head witch. Whoopi look like the predator, and then one of them look like they got a man. Like if you gonna have a View, Sunny look all right, right? But her attitude make her look ugly, and make her look unbearable. If she had a nice attitude, she had a nice flight, she'd be a good looking woman. But her attitude make her look ugly. All that ugly inside shit come on the outside and make her look ugly. And Whoopi, and she just look uglier, you know what I'm saying, because she mean. Like, I mean, Whoopi, I mean, she look bad, but she wouldn't look as bad, you know what I'm saying, if she wasn't all that damn mean. Right? But we're gonna get into something while we're up in here, like school choice. School choice is big, especially in the black community, right? And like Donald Trump said, school choice is the civil rights movement of our time. And you, a lot of black people and a lot of black kids, it's not like black people got different brains than white people or things like that. It's the environment, right? When you go to school that don't, like every school that I went to, right, I have to basically, I wanted to learn, but they didn't force me to learn. You know what I'm saying? I saw the other little kids around me, you know what I'm saying, how they didn't want to learn and didn't nobody pay attention to them, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. It just I wanted to pick up I wanted to pick up information, so I learned and I picked up information for myself. But it wasn't the school that really taught me, and I learned more out of school than I learned in school. I learned more about life out of school. I learned more about money out of school, right? I learned more about people out of school, right? I learned more about history out of school. I learned more about government out of school. I learned everything. Basically, I learned from out of school. I learned 2 + 2 and 4 and all that. I learned that in school, you know what I'm saying? I learned how to read and ABCs and all that. But everything else, you know what I'm saying, that I applied in my life, it was basically things I learned from the street or learned from real life experiences, right? And that's something what Donald Trump has been preaching with school choice, right? With school choice, it gives you opportunity to go to a school, you know what I'm saying, of your choice, or a school fits your kids' capabilities or your kids' needs, right? And I don't know how Democrats who say they want education, you know what I'm saying, to be more better for blacks, and they want uh, uh, the school system to change and school grades to change and things like that and things to be equal, but they ain't pushing it. Like, what is they doing? You ain't heard of no reforms. You ain't heard of anything besides when Donald Trump came up here, like, we're going to give it back to the states, right? Like, he giving everything back to the states. We're going to give it back to the states and let them do their own shit because the federal system of education is fucked up. They have a low standard, right? And especially their standard is low in black communities. So if you gave it back to the states got to have their own mandate of what the whole state should be, not what the federal mandate should be. You know what I'm saying? The federal mandate, like, well, you can do this, you can do that. It's not right, and it's not really helping the black community or the Hispanic community, things like that, right? Or even, I'm not going to say the black community because it makes it seem like you automatically attaching black to poor and ignorant. I was going to say the urban community. You know what I'm saying? Because it's white people in them communities, it's Asian people in the communities, it's a lot of people in them communities that we call black communities, right? So we got to just call it a community of people, you know what I'm saying, that's struggling. They get the same education, right? And it's not cool because you get no people skills, you get no job skills, you get none of that. Now, in this first clip that I finna show you is I took it back when Donald Trump was talking about school choice. And he hired somebody, Vince McMahon ex-wife or whatever, Sarah McMahon or whatever, right? And she finna get some shit straight. She was with the education. She been doing her shit for a long time. Donald Trump getting outsiders. He getting a lot of people who already got money, so they're not gonna be politically motivated or politically influenced by somebody like that or donors or anything. So he getting outsiders to do the job, right? But I want you to listen to the view that's had an argument over school choice. And it reminded me of something Donald Trump was talking about when he was president about school choice. And they bringing it up now on The View, and they bringing it up again since Donald Trump talked about dismantling, you know, the Department of Education, you know, from the federal level, right? So they bringing it up again, the school choice. But Donald Trump been bringing it up a long time as a social justice fight of our time. Let's roll. Let's get into it. No further ado. Let's go. The View versus Donald Trump.
Education is the civil rights issue of our time.
And what happens with vouchers, the studies show very clearly that they fund students who are already attending private schools. So people with money get those vouchers, use the vouchers to pay less for their private schools, and their kids go on to do well.
These families should be free to choose the public, private, charter, magnet, religious, or homeschool that is right for them. I am calling upon members of both parties to pass an education bill that funds school choice for disadvantaged youth, including millions of African American and Latino children.
Where do you get the money from vouchers? You pull those money from those poor schools, those poor schools. Let me just finish this. So wealthy families are overwhelmingly the recipients of school voucher tax credits. I'm not making this up.
Look, she cutting people off and shit. Let me just finish. You gonna talk all day, right? Somebody can't get no word in, and she purposely ignored the girl, right? But Donald Trump is telling the truth about school funds. If the funds is going to a school and the school is underperforming, why not give that money to a school or give that money to the parent and let that parent send them to a school where they can perform as something that's equivalent to their skills or to their education level or their mental state or anything like that? Why not compare them stuff like that instead of putting them in the same ass failing school with the same ass failing teachers, with the same ass failing grades, with the same ass failing test scores, right? Why put them in the same shit? It's like you want them to fail.
Up.
Joining us tonight in the gallery is a remarkable woman, Denisha Merriweather. As a young girl, Denisha struggled in school and failed third grade twice. But then she was able to enroll in a private center for learning, Great Learning Center, with the help of a tax credit and a scholarship program. Today, she is the first in her family to graduate not just from high school, but from college.
This has been studied. In 2020, a 2020 study found that only about half of states with voucher programs require teachers to have a bachelor's degree.
Later this year, she will get her master's degree in social work. We want all children to be able.
But she got over a master's degree. She getting a bachelor's degree, right? And it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of teachers that you so-called or social justice teachers and like that, they don't have a degree of education like you're talking about, right? They don't have that same degree you're talking about. They're teaching our kids in these broken down ass schools. So it doesn't take a bachelor's degree, a master's degree to teach English or history or some shit like that. All you're doing is basically telling them to repeat a subject that you're teaching over and over again. If you're a history teacher, all you're doing is teaching them a book, teaching them to read out of a book. You're not actually teaching history. You're teaching them a specific topic, history. And all you got to do is major in history. You got to major in everything, have no master's degree to be no damn history teacher at no damn elementary.
Able to break the cycle of poverty, just like Denisha.
Break the cycle of poverty.
Require teachers to have training, require teachers to have licensing, require participating private school.
Building an inclusive society is making sure that every young American gets a great education and the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Yet for too long, countless American children have been trapped in failing government schools.
I may get in just to make it a
Wait,
conversation.
but because I have children and because I looked at
She said, "Can I get in just to make it a conversation?" She's like, "No, I have children." You see how she cut her off? She's trying to be the alpha male. She's trying to be the big dog. No, I have children. And she's like, "Wait a minute, I have children too. Wait a minute, bitch, you're not the only one on stage to have children, right?" Sonny is a vindictive hoe.
I may get in just to make it a conversation.
But because I have children and because I looked at
I
private
went
schools,
to public school. I believe you got to go to private school.
There is zero statistical
You got to go to
significance.
private school.
Ah! You see that? I went to public school. You went to private school. Why you don't want to bring that up, son? How you went to private school? You see, she kept not letting her talk. I have kids, and the same kids get called. They got called a nigga on the beach and hurt. And you got your feelings hurt because of racism. You talking about them kids? They in private school. I'm pretty sure, Sonny. I'm pretty sure your kids not in public school. I'm pretty sure they're in private. Much money as you making on the View, baby.
To rescue these students, 18 states have created school choice in the form of opportunity scholarships.
Because nobody can figure out what's being said here right now. No, there is no last thing right now. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back.
Yes.
The programs are so popular that tens of thousands of students remain on a waiting list. One of those students is Janiyah Davis, a fourth grader from Philadelphia. Janiyah.
I personally worked on the DC Opportunity Scholarship Program.
Whoa, why they wasn't talking about when Donald Trump was talking about all them black people winning off of opportunity scholarships and not and school choice, huh? Why black people wasn't saying he was racist then? He brought these black young women out here that's gonna be successful, and one that is successful, right? Already. First in their family to graduate college because of the opportunity zone, and these hoes trying to take this up. Not these hoes. Sonny is, not her, right? Sonny is trying to take this opportunity away from other girls like her. Shame on her.
When I was working in Congress, in that program alone, which is a charter school system, it experienced a 21% increase in graduation rates. There are conflicting statistics, but according to Morning Consult, the majority of Americans support health savings account, vouchers, and the taxpayer money following the students. It is my belief, as somebody who grew up in the public school system, believes in it, and was grateful to be in a really good school district.
Janiyah's mom, Stephanie, is a single parent. She would do anything to give her daughter a better future. But last year, that future was put further out of reach when Pennsylvania's governor
You see how the difference between how Donald Trump explained it and how the View explained it? Donald Trump bring the actual people and explain the actual situation. They going to know, hey, this and that, and the statistics and this and this. No, Donald Trump brought the actual fact. He brought the actual person. He brought the actual mother that was struggling and actual daughter that needed an opportunity scholarship. He brought the people to talk about it. Not no millionaire bitches on stage, not no bitches who live in mansions, not no bitches who kids go to private school, not none of them bitches. A female that was in the ghetto, in the hood, a single mother with a baby. That's what he brought to talk and talk for him. Look, this is what it does, and this is what it can do. And this is the type of people it goes to.
Vetoed legislation to expand school choice to 50,000 children.
If you're in a school that's falling behind and your parent wants to give you the opportunity to get a leg up, your tax dollars should follow you.
Question, but you're a school charter person, and this is part I don't understand. Doesn't it come down to less the result and more the choice of isn't the fight for the parents to say they choose it? Is that what most people are supporting?
I can proudly announce tonight that an opportunity scholarship has become available. It's going to you, and you will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
It's simply that a parent should be able to make the best choice for their student. But I also think that there are schools that are falling behind. It doesn't mean they don't deserve education, but I don't think students should be victims of a falling behind school. Their life is at stake in it, their future, their earning potential.
Janiyah and Stephanie are in the gallery. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with your beautiful daughter. Thank you very much.
See, you went to a good school. I wasn't in a good school district. That's the inequity.
But where did you go to school?
But where did you go to school at? Right? Why not get our girl the opportunity that you had, Sonny?
In the South, I had to start school in the South Bronx projects. But
then didn't you get to go to a private school?
I do want to be very clear-eyed about the policies.
But Janai, I have some good news for you, because I am pleased to inform you that your long wait is over.
And so the last point that I was going to make is there is zero statistical significance that voucher programs improve overall student success. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Research has shown that students who use voucher programs to leave a public school and then attend a private school do worse academically. Your education should not be tied to where you live. Should not be tied to your no.
Look. Why is she talking about the statistics on charter schools when she's not talking about the statistics on public schools, right? She's not talking about them failing schools. She's not talking about how they way undereducated and way under test scores and shit like that, and way behind their grade level. She don't want to talk about that. Oh, the charter schools is this and the charter school. Well, the charter schools in my neighborhood, you got a higher percentage of graduation rate, right? But sometimes it's not just the school; it's also the parents. You got to understand them. That's why you got to set up charter schools and a lot more charter schools so parents can like if you want to keep your school, your kid to go into that school and shit like that, fine, do it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it, but it's a certain percentage of kids in every school where parents want to get their kids out of that. They should have that choice, right? And I'm pretty sure every kid and every parent ain't gonna follow that school opportunity scholarship shit because everybody ain't gonna do it. Every parent don't give a fuck. They send them to the school, they get something to eat, they got a babysitter for a couple of hours, you know what I'm saying? They come home, don't make sure they do homework or nothing like that. Don't check on nothing, don't go to no parent-teacher conference, check and see how they doing. They ain't got no connection with the teacher at all. Don't know how a kid is acting in school. Don't know if their kid is going to school, don't see no report card. I know parents like that. Right? Never see their kid report cards, right? So they don't give a fuck where their kid go to school at. So they're not going to take advantage of them opportunity scholarships. Mothers like these need them.
Now I call on Congress to give 1 million American children the same opportunity Janaya has just received.
It's actually not, because
what happens
that
is the argument for busing.
But what happens it's an argument for busing, not school choice, because what happens is when you live in an impoverished neighborhood like I lived in, you do not get the funding. The funding under a voucher program is taken away from your school and given to another school.
Okay, what's wrong with that? It's taken from your school. So if you're no longer in that school, that's not longer your school, bitch. That's not longer your school. And it's still going into another school in the community. It's following the kid. That don't even make sense. To taking money out of your school and putting it into another school. Yeah, another school that I'm going to, stupid.
The flip side of that very same argument is why school choice advocates say your zip code should not determine your outcome. You should, there's this great school, Duke Ellington in DC, it's a performing arts school.
That's a great
It brings
school.
kids from parts of DC that are falling behind, but if they can get in, their life can be completely different.
But you just said the magic word.
Well, they need to have parents who are involved. They need
to be able to pay the balance. And they can't.
No, it's the taxpayer dollar falling, and that's what a voucher is. It's not paying it. What a voucher is. It's not paying it.
Schools, people have to pay attention to our kids, and they don't.
Pass the Education Freedom Scholarships and Opportunities Act, because no parent should be forced to send their child to a failing government school.
Hey! Count one. No child and no person should be a victim of an illegal immigrant, right? Now we got the Laken Raleigh cases went on. We got this immigration shit going on right now. They didn't give him enough time. They gave him life. They should have gave him like double, triple life with 35 years in the electric chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, give him all that time because he deserved more than life, right? Life does not, it don't seem like enough, right? Hopefully, I was hoping he was in a state where he would have got the chair because all the crimes that he was convicted of, right? Because if you plead guilty, you're supposed to get the lesser of the crime, and that should be life. Like if he would have pleaded guilty, he should have got life without, right? Not no 25 years. So just to get life, it kind of suck, right? He should have got the chair. I mean, I don't know if you heard the phone call, right? It was too brutal for here, right? But it was the Laken Riley made, right? I don't know if you heard the phone call, but it was brutal. This dude was looking for other victims. He already molested children, right? But these are the type of people that the Democrats say, no, no, no. They're working people. They're farmers. They work in the construction. They pick the fruits. They build the houses. Don't deport them. No, no. Wait a minute. You don't want these type of people gone? The repeat offenders? The ones that's running around carrying guns and terrorizing neighborhoods of Chicago and New York and California and Chile. You don't want none of them off the street? I understand you. If it was, say logically, if you were talking about, well, we want to protect the family members. What about the ones that's not part of a family member? That's not, and they come over here with a family, right? They come because they running from something, running from a prison, right? A terrorist, right? Come over here with drugs, or sell drugs, the gang bang, the poor stuff. We don't know, right? You talking about the family members. Okay, the family members cool, but all of them come over here, ain't no damn family member. Huh? All of them ain't no family member. Some of them motherfuckers is criminals. Criminals at the worst degree. You know what I'm saying? After they the most vicious, right? They the most heinous, the most, like, I don't know what you want to call it, right? They, like Donald Trump said, they slice and dice their victims and do all kind of crazy shit to their victims, you know, and mutilate them and all kind of stuff. They vicious, just like he done. And he's one of the nice ones. He's not one of the ones with the tattoos, and he's not one with the prisons and all. He just the regular one. Imagine the ones that come over here like that's worse than him. This nigga is like on a scale of 1 to 10 for the vicious criminals, right? He probably on like a 3 or a 4 compared to some of these motherfuckers, Twinkle Guaguas and shit like that, gangs and shit, Twinkle Guaguas. I don't know what the hell they call themselves, right? But a minute charge, this dude got charged with, he should have got the chair. Let's go. Immigration got to be over with. Let's go.
One malice murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 1 malice murder. I find the defendant guilty.
Every governor of a sanctuary jurisdiction to listen to that tape, listen to this young girl fight for her life, fight for her breath.
Count 2 felony murder. I find the defendant guilty.
Trying to survive, terrified.
Count 3 felony murder. I find the defendant guilty.
Think of I want you to understand what she went through.
Count 4 felony murder. I find the defendant guilty.
Like the 9-year-old boy, that 5-year-old boy in the back of the tractor trailer that I held, I found him dead, that baked to death. Mm-hmm. I thought about what the last hour of his life was like.
Count 5 kidnapping with bodily injury. I find the defendant guilty.
You need to listen to this tape.
Count 6 aggravated assault with intent to rape. I find the defendant guilty.
And for those governors and mayors that are saying they're going to stop Tom Holman, they're going to stop President Trump, shame on you.
Count 7, aggravated battery. I find the defendant guilty.
Your responsibility is to protect your community.
Count 8, obstructing or hindering a 911 call. I find the defendant guilty.
And that's what we want to do, is protect your community.
Count 9, tampering with evidence. I find the defendant guilty.
This death of Laken Riley and the subsequent.
You see how many charges he got? Right? You see how many charges? You see the family in the background crying. They crying, they boo-hooing and stuff like that. Right? They are hurt. And he's sitting up there like, you know, whatever. No emotion, no remorse. This, whatever. I done that. I knew I was gonna get life. He knew it. I mean, this thing, if he's on number 3, imagine number 8 or number 5 on the No Mercy. Imagine people who got out of jail from beating the police officers and gave up the fuck you sign. Imagine what they would have done or the things they done. If they was comfortable beating the shit out of the police, imagine what they would have done to a regular citizen, or what they have done to a regular citizen if they beat the shit out of the police. Right? But you got this dude on MSNBC or ABC News, right? He's talking about like it's Donald Trump's fault. No respect for the verdict, right? No respect for the life that was lost, right? Everything have to be spent on Donald Trump. This disrespecting the family, disrespecting the victim, right? Disrespecting the justice system, right? Because it's all on Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump's fault. It's not Joe Biden's fault. It's not his policy's fault. It's not the shit Donald Trump been talking about fault. Well, half the nation, or more than half the nation, said Donald Trump is right. 70% of the nation want him out of here. So all these people saying that Donald Trump finna be a mean dictator and all this other shit. Well, that's what the people of America want. They want exactly what they voted for. And him doing exactly what they said is not losing votes, it's gaining votes. Because they said he's going to keep his word. Not to you, but he's going to keep his word to the 75 million plus that voted for him and the over 35 million that support him that can't vote. Right? But this dude is disrespecting the victim, everybody. Let's go.
Evidence, I find the defendant guilty.
This death of Laken Riley and the subsequent trial has essentially been a massive political lightning rod here in this country.
Now to NBC5 investigates, which for months has followed the money trail tied to Chicago's migrant mission. Total spending now tops more than $400 million.
Right? Now, not on top of them committing crimes and things like that, right? Imagine they're talking about the economy and budgets and shit like that, right? $40 billion. Imagine what $40 billion could have done to the Chicago community, to the streets, to the community centers, right? To the single mothers, to the recreation centers, right? To the parks, right? I mean, imagine what $400 billion could have done for Chicago. And now, not only did you spend $400 billion and you in a hole, you're saying, look, in order to make up for that $400 billion, right, I need to hit you with a property tax for $300 billion. I need to hit you with a property tax, you know what I'm saying? Because the church fucked up the money, so I need to charge you again, and I need to go up on your property tax, right? So we can pay for this $400 billion hole we in. Think about what you asking the Chicago citizens to do. This is why they want Donald Trump on, because you said it's not going to hurt the community, right? And we got money to take care of them and all this other stuff. But now you're asking them to pay $300 million to $300 billion in taxes, property taxes, to make up for the shit you done fucked up on the immigrants. Just like FEMA, we don't have no money for the hurricane victims or the tornado victims or the shit like that, but we sure the fuck have money for all these immigrants. Right? We sure the fuck had that. We short for them, but we got money for them. We're going to pass Trump supporters up. You know what I'm saying? The FEMA, because they dangerous, but we're getting motherfucking money to the the food money and the EBT goes to the Tilawaganga gang. Tilawaganga, whatever the fuck they getting that name is. I don't know their name. Tilawaganda. They give it to that gang. EBT cards and all kind of shit. Place to stay, free trips. Then they got a free trip on a victimization card. Well, I'm gonna commit a crime over here, right? And get a free motherfucking plane ride for a humanitarian plane ride and go across the country and commit another motherfucking crime, right? And guess what? All the taxpayers paying for this shit.
And you said it there yourself, the president-elect campaigning on the death of Laken Riley.
Now, despite the creation of a city spending website, it's still not exactly clear where all of that money has gone.
And pointing to the current administration, saying that their laws and what they're calling failed policies contributed to Laken Riley's death.
I won't raise your property taxes.
Then candidate for mayor, Brandon Johnson.
I want to remind you that Ibarra entered this country illegally in 2022, according to law enforcement officials, and he was paroled and released for further processing by ICE.
Mayor Brandon Johnson was more than 40 minutes into his speech before he broke the bad news to homeowners across the city.
And since that time he entered the country, he was arrested another time.
Whoa! See how this adds up? See how this story adds up? You got one person talking about, right, how this immigrant was let in, right, how he was arrested, how he was let go by ICE, right, because that's what ICE agents was supposed to do under the Biden administration, how he was released to commit more crimes. Right? Under Donald Trump, he wouldn't have been able to commit more crimes. His ass would have been deported. He wouldn't have been able to commit that murder. That's the difference between a Joe Biden and a Donald Trump. He would have been deported by ICE, not released by ICE. Questioned and released by ICE.
Law enforcement officers saying that he was arrested in 2023 in New York City and charged with acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17, as well as
acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17. You don't get deported for that. You don't get deported for trying to aggravate a child, an American child that's less than 18. Right? If I done some shit like that, I'm going to jail for show. I'm getting locked up for show. Right? I'm going to lose everything for show. But you mean to tell me an immigrant can come over here and physically assault or sexually assault a kid under 17 and get released by ICE?
as a motor vehicle violation.
This budget currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million.
Whoa, see what I'm saying? 300 billion. I said 300 billion, right? He said he's not going to increase the property tax, but after the $400 million that they don't know where it was spent, don't know where the money has went, right? They haven't done the budget. Now they're saying we're going to raise your property taxes to pay for this shit. That's why they say, hey, your ass going to jail, Brandon Johnson.
To fund, the budget currently includes a property tax increase of $300 million to fund and keep our commitment to fund not just our pension contributions, but to fund the future of our city.
And on the immigration thing, she's the only candidate who has actually endorsed a bill that would hold down immigration in any given year to a certain point.
And they lost that argument because that's the only thing for immigration they had every time Donald Trump talked about the stats and the drugs, right? And all the shit that crossed over the border. When Donald Trump bring up the fact, all they say, well, you killed a bill that would have stopped all that. No, it would, you know what I'm saying? The bill wouldn't have stopped all that. That's the only defense. Every time you hear a Democrat on CNN, MSNBC, right, you hear them in an argument. Every time they have an argument, they have the same argument, right? They have no defense on what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris done. They have no defense on that. They say, well, Donald Trump killed the bill. So he killed the bill, the only bill that would have stopped that, right? The only bill that stopped this whole immigration shit, right? Donald Trump has the power to kill that. Yeah, because he didn't run on the policy. Well, the people didn't. Well, evidently, right? You didn't explain to the people what it would have done, and how it would have helped it, and how he killed it, and the effect of it, right? You didn't explain to the people. Or you said, well, he killed the bill. It would have hired this many people and that many people and that many people to done this. And no, it would have hired them people, but what their job description was. Well, it was the catch and release, the process faster, right? The secure more safe immigrants. What would their job would have been? The job title right now is filling out paperwork. They say they can't do those jobs. You think if that border bill would have helped the border officers control the border, and it was a better border bill than anything Donald Trump could have came up with, you think the border officer agent union would have supported Donald Trump if he killed the only bill that they thought they could have made the border safe? Why the fuck they support him? Why the fuck they endorse him if he killed the bill? Evidently, they didn't think so, right? But that's the only thing to do.
And then make sure we gave people a decent place to live. We didn't divide people from their children.
It is important to note that all of this vitriol that we're hearing from Republicans and President-elect Trump regarding the policies of the Biden administration, it's important to note that President-elect Trump did force Republicans to essentially tank a bipartisan border security bill that both sides of the aisle said would have essentially addressed border security and immigration issues.
I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill.
But it's important to note that although there is very little evidence indicating a connection between immigration and violent crime,
he feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me.
this is still something the President-elect Trump, several Republicans on the Hill wanted to essentially plant their flag on and point that to the current Biden administration.
I'd be a winner. Not really.
And we saw that even as early as President Biden's latest State of the Union address. Where Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene infamously interrupted President Biden.
Lincoln Riley.
Forcing him to acknowledge the death of Laken Riley.
Laken Riley. He didn't even say Laken Riley. Laken Riley. That's not her name, fool. This is your president.
An innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal.
Something that President Biden did by holding up a pin in her during that State of the Union.
That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
That even make no damn sense. She was killed by illegals, but how many thousands of people was killed by illegals? Right? They trying to say Donald Trump has used this as a political talking point. The Republicans been using it as a talking point ever since Laken Riley was there. It's not a political talking point. It's the truth, fucker. It's the truth. Right? Was inflation a political talking point? Was the price of gas a political talking point? Was the border political? I mean, was everything Donald Trump talked about was a political talking point? If he was, it was smart because it's a political campaign. Stupid. He's trying to say he's trying to make a political point in a political campaign. Stupid. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Wasn't it a political point when you said Donald Trump killed old girl in Atlanta because she didn't get the proper health care? Wasn't that a political point when you said Donald Trump was going to kill motherfuckers because he was Hitler? Wasn't that a political point too? These motherfuckers, they're stupid. Stupid.
Parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Damn, Joe Biden, how many children did you lose? Ha! Haven't lost children myself. You lost another child, nigga? Oh, yeah, he lost his girl, and of course, then he lost both. Yeah, he did lose children. He lost a couple.
And we did total vetting before people got in.
Breaking news at City Hall. Mayor Brandon Johnson's property tax hike is rejected by City Council.
Woo! Now, Trump killed the bill.
It was an increase the mayor called to balance the budget.
Yep.
Well, in Chicago, right, in the city of Chicago, the Republicans killed the bill. They said, man, we not finna put the $300 million tax hike on no property tax hike for no immigrants. Nigga, we not finna ask the people for no shit like that. We all get voted out of that. We all get voted.
The bill was being written by senior Republicans in the Senate, and he killed the bill. Why?
Jim Marie, it is unanimous. Every single alderperson voted down the mayor's $300 million property tax proposal.
Yeah.
Every one of them. This nigga didn't get not one vote. They getting tired of your shit. Look, the Chicago waking up. Didn't you hear all of them? Look, they made a threat to his ass the other day. Said, Brandon Johnson, your ass, you know what I'm saying? Hey, don't. They're making a threat to the council people. Don't follow Brandon Johnson because your ass will be next. Your ass is gone too. This town is turning red. The black people came and threatened them. Don't nobody want to fuck with Brandon now. This nigga didn't get one vote. After all them black people came up there and said, see the power we've done? See Donald Trump, ain't you happy Donald Trump is in office? Everybody like, hell yeah. Yeah, nigga, keep fucking with us. We're going to have all your ass out of here and with some Republicans up in there. You see, all the Republicans voted hell to the no. All the Democrats voted hell to the no, Brandon Johnson.
Had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
They say they have plenty of ideas. Now Mayor Brandon Johnson is going to be forced to listen to them.
But if they're all properly vetted, that doesn't happen. And America is not having enough babies to keep our population down.
What about the abortion? Wait a minute. This nigga gonna say, he gonna say America is not having enough babies to keep the population up. And then on the same hand, he gonna fight for more abortions. Like, nigga, if it was less abortions, we have the babies to keep the population up, stupid. This don't even make sense. They were already made slaves. Like, we don't have to groom them. This shit don't like, the Democrats don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The birth rate and the population of American birth is low because of the abortions and all this abortion rights shit. So we got to import some other people to keep the population up. Do that make sense? We're pro-abortion and pro-immigration. The only reason we pro-immigration is because we're not having enough babies because we're pro-abortion. What the fuck? Oh my, that is an oxymoron for your ass.
So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work.
Now we finna get into the transgender thing is going on, and the Democrats won't let this shit go for some reason, right? They done lost the election by a landslide. People telling them they didn't want the transgender shit, right? It is only a small a percentage of people that it affect. I mean, it affects the liberals because the liberals gonna fight for whatever right. They say they're gonna fight for gay rights, liberal rights, abortion rights. You know what I'm saying? Even though it affect a small percentage of people, even abortions, right? It affects a small percentage of people. It's not affecting 10% of the people a year, 30 million people. Hopefully it's not. That'd be a lot of people getting abortions and shit, right? But maybe it is. Shit, maybe it's 30 million black women getting abortion, but I don't think it's affecting people to that extent where we got to change the whole court system and the whole justice system and the whole medical system and the whole, like, the Democrats want to change everything for something that's like affecting 10% of the population. They want to put in extra judges for abortion, right? They want to take out judges for abortions, right? They want to put in laws for abortions. They try to have a president run on abortions, right? They had all these actors and rappers and these entertainers come and talk about abortions, right? All these things that only affect 10% of the people, women rights and shit, right? I mean, it's a lot of women, but you talking about abortion, that's not something that all women believe that they have a right. I mean, that's a right they want to fight about because it don't affect them, right? But you see a bunch of crazy ass liberals, a bunch of crazy women that ain't nobody trying to fuck, a bunch of crazy women that's gay, a bunch of crazy women that's old, right? Just going out there, we want abortion, women rights, and my body, my right. Okay, well, this don't have sex without a condom or birth control. That'd end all that. But we got the transgender rights going on, right? And the transgender rights is getting out of control, right? Like, it only affect men, especially in the bathroom, right? And things like that. I don't see the vice versa happening, right? I don't see no woman that has got a slung going into the bathroom, you know what I'm saying, and stand up and doing her thing, right? I mean, hopefully I don't get a chance to see that, you know what I'm saying? But me as a man, I will feel comfortable if I'm at a stall and someone's standing next to me, standing peeing. Like I don't like how does like with no thing. Like with peeing though, like how did that person I don't know how they do that, but I would feel real uncomfortable if I knew it was a girl up in there who I mean, say the girl didn't have her sexual operation yet, right? She didn't have her her operation that put the penis on the vagina, right? She didn't have the operation, right? And she just had a regular vagina, but she considered herself a man. I would feel uncomfortable taking my thing out and peeing in front of a woman, right, or in front of a transgender, right? Because to me, that's still a woman, and I feel uncomfortable as a man, unless I'm like messing with somebody or something like. I mean, I pull it out then, whip, you know. But if it's a woman that I don't know, out of respect, I'm like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I'll feel kind of odd me just whipping out in front of a girl that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dudes in the style, you know what I'm saying? I can look at the wall and shit like that, you know. But if a girl up in there with a coochie and drying off or doing whatever she was doing as a dude, like, nah, I couldn't accept that, right? So I only can feel how Nancy Mace felt when she says she don't want no transgender in the bathroom with her. I can understand that because she said she was a sexual assault victim, you know, and who knows where these transgender people mind go, you know. I'm not saying that all of them have a messed up mind. I'm pretty sure a lot of them is in the right frame of mind and not messing with kids and doing all the things that the stereotype says they do. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of transgenders out there that's like that, right? But it's some that's not. And you know what I'm saying? And out of that small minority of people, it's a lot of people in that minority that have weird fetishes and things like that, right? I mean, it just come like you got to have a weird fetish to want to put on a costume and dance in front of a kid. You got to have some kind of sick fetish. That's not nothing a grown man ever dream of. No man ever in life, or no kid ever in life ever dream and say, when I'm grown, I want to dress like a woman and dance in front of little kids for a living. Right? I don't think that was on nobody to do list in school. Right? You have to be a sick son of a bitch and want to talk about kids to kids in a sexual manner. That's not nothing that's logical in a logical person's head. you feel uncomfortable talking to your own kid about sex. Now you want to talk to other kids about sex in a sexual manner with a costume on that's freaky, and you dancing in front of the kids, and you want that kid to give you a tip. I don't think nobody in their wildest mind as a kid ever thought that was even a job profession, right? But I can feel Nancy, you know what I'm saying, Mace, hey, I don't want the transgender in the bathroom. But we know who came and who was the first person to have the transgenders in the bathroom. It was no other than Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the first one, like, put them in the schools, put them in the school, put them in the bathrooms. Donald Trump like, hell no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna end that on a federal level, and we're gonna get that shit back to the states. Huh? All of it going back to the state. Donald Trump, Barack Obama, like, we're gonna make it federal. You're gonna lose your federal funding and all that. Donald Trump, like, hell no, you're not gonna lose your federal funding on that. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. If your school district want to do it, go ahead and let them do it. If they don't, go ahead and don't. Right? But it's up to you and then the individual, right? Not up to us. Let's go.
And this morning, President Obama is weighing in on the bathroom debate impacting transgender students in the United States.
Radical left is calling me an extremist for being a feminist, fighting to protect the rights of women and girls.
The Obama administration will recommend today that all public schools allow transgender students to use bathrooms and locker rooms according to their chosen gender identity. Failure to comply would put the schools at risk of losing federal funding.
The truth is, this radical new generation of trans activists have pushed these issues so far that people, just ordinary people, are saying, I cannot go along with you.
If being a feminist makes me an extremist or a bigot or a monster, I am totally here for it.
These first standards for transgender women to use the restroom, they were established in 1979. They worked fine for 40 years. It means you go to a doctor, you get a clinician to give you a letter, you go on HRT, which inhibits things like, erections, and you go through a medical process.
The excerpts of the letter obtained by the New York Times, the White House maintains, quote, the desire to accommodate others' discomfort cannot justify a policy that singles out and disadvantages a particular class of students.
Because I'm going to fight like hell for every woman and every little girl across this country to protect you and keep you safe.
When asked by reporters if the move was in response to McBride, here's what she said.
Yes, and absolutely, and then some.
I think it's really hard, Dan. I understand why the Republicans are making an issue out of this.
I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
The problem is when we've expanded what it means to be trans, when our radical activists are pushing us into women's sports and telling your children that, like, asking them to identify as non-binary, it is causing normal people to have questions.
Hell yeah, it's causing normal people to have questions, right? It's causing a lot of people to have questions about certain things, right? Especially when you have, oh shit, I don't think I'll put it up in here. I think oh man, I guess I gotta play it on regular thing, right? Especially when you have these so-called transgender is invading women's spaces on every level, right? It's not just the bathrooms, right? It's not just the sports. It's also it's not just beauty pageants no more, right? Because remember, man just won a beauty pageant. A couple of men done won some beauty pageants, right? It's not just acting roles. It's also prison, right? Men are invading women's personal space in things like prison, like so. A woman is basically not safe anywhere. Not safe in sports. Not safe in beauty pageants. Not safe in a bathroom, a gym, right? Anywhere a woman is so-called have, some kind of sacred sanity, you know what I'm saying, or supposed to have a sacred space, she's not allowed that no more, Remember at the gym, you know it was a women's gym, bathroom and locker room, and it was a man's gym, bathroom and locker room. It wasn't no shit in the middle, right? It wasn't you can pick and choose what bathroom you want to go to, because not only will the people kick your ass, the security would kick your ass out, but the people would kick your ass out first, right? You couldn't go up in there as a man in any bathroom, right? When I was younger, and say you was anything other than what you was when you was born. You can be gay, right? You can be wanting all the dinglings in the world, but you're gonna change your ass in that men's locker room. I saw a lot of gay dudes in the men's locker room. A lot of them, right? Getting their little workout on and shit, right? But they was in the men's locker room, right? They was in dick heaven. Right? As a man, you're gonna want to go to the man's, I mean to the woman's locker room if you're a freak. I mean, you prefer not to get dressed in front of a man, but it's a certain respect that man got when you're a straight man and you got to change in front of a man. It's a certain level of respect and space and eye contact and sight and all that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't do it in the locker room. It's an unwritten rule. Even if you gay. Right? You know what I'm saying? But you still have to do it in the vicinity of men. You couldn't be, oh, well, I don't want to be around all these men intimidate me, and I don't feel comfortable dressing in front of these men. And you couldn't use that as an excuse. Like some of these people do in prison. Let's go.
This case involves a male defendant who raped a 9-year-old boy. Was he guilty of that?
Yes, the petitioner pled guilty to that.
Okay, so he raped a 9-year-old boy.
McBride blasted Republicans following the proposal, writing on X, "This is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact that they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing."
But he also raped a 17-year-old girl. Was he guilty of that?
He pled guilty. The petitioner pled guilty to that crime as well.
So was he guilty?
I hope so, because she pled guilty to it.
So my message to Scotty is I'm with you on the fringe stuff, but we don't have to regress back to the most extremist maximalist view. What I think you're missing is something I am hearing from MAGA over and over and over again, which is they don't have issue with trans women like Sarah and I, which have medically transitioned. They have a problem with this being pushed on their children.
He was a he.
You're damn right, right? We don't have a problem. You can do what you want. As a grown person, we don't have a problem. MAGA don't have a problem with you being a grown freak, right? Dancing in front of grown people. We don't have a problem with that, right? Reading books in front of grown people with sexual content. We don't have a problem with that. That's when you fuck with the kids. It's different. So the transgender woman got little damn brains.
Again, which is they don't have issue with trans women like Sarah and I, which have medically transitioned. They have a problem with this being pushed on their children.
He was a he when he did this.
That's correct.
And also criminal deviant conduct, which the record doesn't disclose what that was exactly.
So let's keep the public policy focus where it matters.
Then, after serving in prison, Mr. McClain was released for parole, but then violated the terms of parole by having internet and was sent back to prison.
We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, healthcare, and childcare, not manufacturing culture wars.
1 year after being released again, he was convicted of having child pornography. Is that correct?
I'm unclear on exactly the time frame that you're at, but the petitioner was convicted of distributing child pornography.
Child pornography that was images of adults violently raping children.
Abhorrent conduct.
Okay.
For which there are real victims.
Delawareans sent me here to make the American dream more affordable and accessible, and that's what I'm focused on. Other Democrats have also condemned the measure. Quote, "This is not just bigotry, this is plain bullying," said New York Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And political commentator Brad Palumbo posted, "Sorry, Republicans, but bathroom bills make no practical sense, do nothing to protect women's safety. Anyone who tragically is going to harm women in the bathroom isn't going to be deterred by such a policy. Locker rooms, places where people are nude are a different story, but women's bathrooms are literally all stalls. Forcing this kind of ridiculous outcome, like forcing Buck Angel into the women's room, would actually make women more uncomfortable than letting trans women use the women's bathroom."
Right? But this what the Democrats are still on, right? They got she posted, it's cold, she from Joe Biden state, Delaware, right? But they got a transgender to be the face of the transgender fight of gender rights. Think about it.
And Vermont Democratic Congresswoman Rebecca Ballant expressed fury, saying, quote, "The cruelty is the point. Is that what we want the Sergeant-at-Arms to be doing when we had an attack on the freaking Capitol?" End quote.
I don't think Nancy Mace's resolution does enough. I think we need to do more. That's what I asked Speaker Johnson, and he committed to me in there in the conference that that Sarah McBride will not be using our restrooms.
And this individual, 6'2", biologically a man. A minute ago, you said that when this man decided that he was a she, you said this individual was, quote, I wrote it down, sober and entirely a female.
It's been reported that you said you'd get into a physical altercation with a biological male if you saw them in the bathroom. Would you get into a physical altercation with?
How is that reported? How is that reported?
That phrase struck me as remarkable. Did this individual have male genitalia?
Have male genitalia. They said Martin Taylor Greene, would you beat a motherfucking ass in the men's bathroom? But I forgot to put this video in right quick. I forgot to put this video in. Martin Taylor Greene, would you beat somebody's ass? Martin Taylor Greene, like, hell yeah, I'll beat somebody's ass. I'll beat the hell out of somebody. I'll beat the hell out of somebody. Are you going to get in it with any transgenders, anything like that when you, like, hell yeah, I'll get into it with a transgender. Right? Here we go right here. This one right here. Here we go right here. Right here. Boom, right. This is the first one. This is the first one right here. We don't want to hear that, right? But this what happens when transgenders get put into regular people's space, right, and stuff like that. You get stories like this.
Pregnant after they had sex. Female inmates are pregnant after they had. 2 female inmates are pregnant after they had sex with another inmate at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in Clinton. That's the Department of Corrections. Last year, Edna Mahan began housing transgender inmates who identify as female. That's after a lawsuit filed by a trans woman who was forced to live in men's prisons.
She was forced to live in a men's prison. She committed a crime as a man, but she was forced to live in a man's prison and filed a lawsuit and won.
The DOC would not provide details on what actions they took in response to the pregnancies, but says they're taking measures to ensure the health and the safety of all inmates there.
Oh, they got to take care of the trans baby. Huh? They got to take care of the trans baby in jail. Ain't that some shit? We're going to make sure everybody's involved, right? We're going to make sure everybody's involved have a chance. Oh, here go the other story. Here go the other story right here. Go to the other story right here. Look at this one.
It's not a trans woman, it's a man.
Look,
See articles and
look at the story. Look at the story. Look at the story right here. Boom. Look at the story right here. Look at another story right here. This is what happens.
And let's talk about a story. I have to say, I was so angry when I saw this, especially when you read the copy, the BBC articles and Telegraph and the Mail. They report these things about a transgender paedophile who identified as a woman. I said trans woman because you're not actually a woman, grooming a 14-year-old girl, getting her pregnant. This paedophile was able to groom, sexually assault, and get a 14-year-old schoolgirl pregnant because he identified as a transgender woman, tattooed David Orton, befriended the victim and her family, gained their trust because he claimed that he was a trans woman. He is now starting a 9.5-year jail sentence after, thankfully, parents went to the police where he became concerned. He'd groomed her so much that she didn't even realize she'd been exploited.
He groomed her so much, she didn't even realize she'd been exploited. A 14-year-old girl, a trans, getting molested by a transgender man, right? But it wasn't rape, right? It wasn't rape. So is this one of the kids y'all talking about, the 14-year-old girls that need abortion and stuff like that? the ones that's getting raped by transgender men and immigrants and stuff like that. The two stories I saw about a 14-year-old getting an abortion, right, and a 12-year-old getting an abortion or pregnant, you know what I'm saying, on some weird shit, right, is this transgender dude right here and an immigrant Mexican. Is she finna get an abortion at 14 because she got raped and she forced to carry a child of somebody who molested her? Is they gonna give her an abortion? Ain't that what abortion's for 14-year-old girls in that particular case? They're going to force her to get an abortion or they're going to force her to have a baby? They're going to force her to, which one is it? They're going to force her to get rid of the baby or they're going to force her to carry the baby of her so-called a sexual predator? Which one is they going to allow her to do? This is coming from the Democratic side. Which one are they going to allow her to do? What evil is they gonna do if the ultimate evil and kill the baby, or they gonna have the ultimate evil and let that baby be born and be a victim of as Margaret Thatcher say, or Singer say, Margaret Singer say, and be a cruel, ill victim of society and a menace to society. And all that. Should we still don't go? His father had bad genes, he had bad genes, and his mother ain't gonna be able to raise him. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get rid of him. That's what the Democrats say. Oh my God, what's they gonna do? They gonna let her carry the baby of the rapist, or they gonna get rid of the baby?
Concern. He'd grooved her so much that she didn't even realize she'd been exploited, but she only told officers about the relationship when she revealed she was pregnant with his baby. He was actually not found guilty of rape extraordinarily, but he has been found guilty of numerous other charges. But crucially,
whoa, he haven't been charged with rape, but numerous other charges he's been charged with, right? Just not rape. Just not rape. Whoa, what do you call that? What do you? I mean, and then she said she didn't really know or really didn't go until she found out she was pregnant. Then she probably had to tell who she was pregnant by, or else the molestation by the so-called transgender would have kept happening. We can't trust them. Can't trust them.
It's
How is that reported?
It's been on social media that was
so
said.
How is that reported?
I think what I said, or at least what
that is a verbatim quote, entirely a female.
Sorry, what I meant to say was hormonally a female.
Okay, but that's not entirely.
I'm just wondering if you would get into a physical altercation with
I shouldn't
McBride.
have to, but I shouldn't have to do that. No woman should have to.
Did this?
They asked Martha Taylor Greene, she finna have a fist fight with a trans. Marty lift weights and all kind of shit. Marty say, if a motherfucker, if I'm in his bathroom and McBride step up in here, it's gonna be a problem. Who told you that? We heard it on Twitter. We heard the rumor going around. Martin Taylor Greene ain't playing. You step in here, you getting your ass beat. You are the little girl McCracken or whatever her name is, McCracken. If we ever in the room alone and you come up in here, you getting your ass beat. Wow, huh? It's gonna be crazy. They said Martin Taylor Greene. We heard it on Twitter. He's gonna beat McBride's ass. Who told you that? She did. I'm not gonna confirm or deny that. You heard she didn't. I didn't say no shit like that. She like, look, I shouldn't have to. She's like, is she gonna whoop her ass? I shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to whoop her ass.
A female.
Okay, but that's not entirely.
I'm just wondering if you would get into a physical altercation with
I shouldn't
McBride.
have to, but I shouldn't have to do that. No woman should have to.
Did this individual have male genitalia?
Yes.
But look at what men have been doing to women.
So you took a 6'2" serial rapist, serial child rapist with male genitalia, and he said, you know, I'd like to be in a women's prison. And your answer was, that sounds great to me.
Have just filed a lawsuit against the Obama administration over its directive about allowing transgender students to use the bathroom of their choice. Defendants include the Department of Justice, the Department of Education, Alabama, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Arizona, Maine, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Utah, Georgia, and West Virginia.
All of them say, hell no, we finna file this lawsuit. You can't do this federal shit. Let us do our state shit. That's what Donald Trump handed back to the states. Donald Trump handed back to the states. Do what you want. He didn't make it a federal nothing. He let the people decide.
Join Texas in that suit.
Let me ask you something. The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Is that a question?
Yes. The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Of course.
Let's bring in MSNBC chief legal correspondent Ari Melber. Ari, this goes back to the directive that came out of the Obama administration issuing guidelines that they said were based on real life concerns that they had gotten from school districts wanting to know how to handle this issue.
This is your priority, that you want to bully a member of Congress as opposed to welcoming her to join this body?
Do they?
How the hell you bullying somebody? Right? It's two people you can't bully. You know what I'm saying? Nancy Mace is not bullying the transgender, right? And ain't nobody in this women's prison is going to bully somebody that's 6'2" and 230 pounds. It got man muscles. Ain't nobody going to bully it. That motherfucker is the king of the penitentiary, man or woman. Let a motherfucker be 6'2" and 235 pounds, man or woman. That motherfucker is the king of the prison.
They have the right not to have a 6'2" man who is a repeat serial rapist put in as their cellmate.
I support a resolution that keeps all biological men out of women's bathrooms, locker rooms, and private places, not only here in the Capitol complex, our office buildings, but all taxpayer-funded facilities.
That's what we're hearing from the state's challenge.
What about prison? Because they getting women pregnant and sexual assaulting women and doing all kind of shit in prison, right? Because if you put a serial rapist up in there to rape girls and boys, right, in the prison, and we still got his male genitals, that thing still get hard. No wonder he got two women pregnant.
Challenging it. This was expected because this legal strategy had been outlined, but it's only just now that the lawsuit here is filed. These 11 states, these are all Republican officials. And what they're basically saying, Kate, is they want to challenge whether the Obama administration.
Senator Cruz, I considered the facts presented to me, and I reached a decision.
I asked you a question. I asked you a question.
Are you really focused on grocery prices? Apparently not.
Do they have a right?
They always, the Democrats always say that shit when they get caught up in something, right? Oh, instead of worrying about this, they need to worry about grocery prices and the gas. We Democrats worried about, why you motherfuckers ain't worried about groceries and gas in the last 4 years and done nothing about it? Donald Trump, they worried about, is he black or white? When we worried about races, we worried about gas prices and grocery prices. Oh, they worried about a transgender using the bathroom. Well, let's talk about grocery prices and gas prices. Oh, they want to talk about a war. Let's talk about grocery prices and gas prices. Well, we was talking about grocery prices and gas prices, you dumb son of a bitch. They always say that. Let's talk about grocery prices. Okay, let's talk about grocery prices and gas prices. They're high as a son of a bitch. Let's talk about solving them. How you motherfuckers talked about something? You had the last 4 years as a president, right? We ain't heard about no bill about you passed about lowering the gas. You said the Build Back Better plan and all that shit didn't help none. The Inflation Reduction Act didn't help reflect inflation none. Motherfucker. They said, well, let's talk about the real issue. Well, let's talk about them then. They want to talk about the border instead of talking about gas and food. Well, let's talk about gas and food then. You keep on going back to gas and food. Let's talk about it. Damn it.
Not to have a 6'2" man who is a serial rapist put in as their cellmate. Do those?
Hey, look, do they have a right Do you have a right to have a six? Look, I'm a regular dude, right? I'm a regular person, and a 6'2" nigga in the penitentiary is intimidating me. Like, any nigga over 6 feet, you be like, oh, with muscles, that nigga huge in prison. Like, if you 6'2" with muscles in prison, you are not to be fucked with. And this is in a men's prison. It's not too many. Like, you probably find a couple of people 6'2", 6'3". You're gonna find somebody 7 foot, 6'8", all that. But 6'3", 6'2", that's like the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? You like in the 10th percentile right there, right? But you got all this 6'2" in a women's back. Look, in a men's prison, 6'2" is a center or power forward. In prison, you 6'2", nigga, you playing center. But she's 6'2" in a women's prison. I don't even think she can fit a regular bed at 6'2". I think the beds only go to 6 feet. You got a motherfucker can't even fit in the bed in a woman's prison? Make that make sense. We're gonna stuff your ass in this woman's prison. Your 6'2" ass with money. You can basically get anybody you want up in there, like with no fight. Right? You can raffle off your ding-a-ling and shit and still work. Like, I'm broke, I ain't got no money, but I got this slung. One of you ladies want to send me some food for the slung? I need some hygienes. I come up in your room, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm a transgender, I still, got this thing. I can still do my thing. Oh, I'm pregnant. How that happened? The transgender nigga got 2 cells and each of them got pregnant. Well, why he still in the prison then? Why the fuck is he still in a woman's prison? That just proves his ass is not a transgender. What you gonna say his ass is gay now? Yeah, I'm a trans. That means everybody in niggas prison finna start saying that. Look, man, I'm a transgender woman, right? But I'm gay. That means you're a man then, right? Wait a minute. That means you like women still. Like, I'm a transgender woman, but I'm gay. Wait a minute. What does that mean? That means you back to the original you. What the fuck you can't be gay. You turned the other thing catch you was gay. Now you saying you're not gay and you want to be the back person you was when you turned gay. That don't make sense. I'm a transgender, but I like women still. What the fuck? Well, you not gay. Why'd you turn a woman and you like women? I didn't say I was transgender. Don't mean you like when you turn transgender. It don't really necessarily mean that you are a woman and you like men. It just means that you want to be a woman and you're still attracted to women. Well, you a man then, fool. That's weird. The hell you talking about? It ain't no explanation. God don't like, actually God was a transgender. Nigga, don't put that on God. You better keep God out of your mouth. Don't even say nothing like that. Well, he was fluent, he was this and that. Like, man, come on, man. What internet reading happy story time your ass been reading? Who you done tip? What nigga you done tip from the happy story hour? Talking about, oh, God is fluent and God is this and that. Nigga, what? You know what? I'm gonna beat your ass with the Bible if I ever see you, I'm gonna beat your ass with the Bible talking about God is God. Let's see. After 5 waxing this damn Bible, let's see what you think God is. I'm trying to put that on him. Well, you like everybody? No, I don't think he. I don't think he love everybody, but like everybody, I'm not too keen on that. Because some of you motherfuckers are disappointments, right? But anyway, let's get back into it.
Those women have a right to that.
Actually has the authority or is correct in trying to make what they consider a big change to bathroom policy that reflects or involves public institutions and schools.
Are you focused as Republicans on building a healthy economy? Apparently you are not. And we will not hesitate to call that out.
Which is a policy that, as you mentioned, the Obama administration had applied for some time, but only recently codified, basically made official, which says, given the concerns that transgender individuals have faced, that they can go and choose the bathroom at which they identify with, their gender identity, rather than some other definition.
Every time they lean into their...
Look at this fool, right? You'll never be a Barack Obama. We're calling it out. They don't want to talk about building the economy. We're calling it, nigga, you ain't talked about building the economy for 4 years. Now all of a sudden the transgender want to go in the bathroom of a woman and violate her rights. You want to talk about the economy and building a political system. Nigga, what?
Other definition.
Every time they lean into their far-right extremism and ignore the things that the American people want us as members of Congress to focus on together.
That's why y'all ass getting wiped out left and right. Another person just won another seat. I think it's like 40. I think it's like 54. The fourth. You sons of bitches getting wiped out talking about what Congress is concentrating and what Congress is this. You sons of bitches got wiped out. What the hell are you talking about? What they want you to do? Ain't you sons of bitches lost all the seats, motherfucker? You know, the Senate and the House and the motherfucking White House talking about what the people want us to do. The people don't want you to do shit, but shut the fuck up and vote everything Donald Trump won't in. That's what the people want you to do. Shut the fuck up and vote Donald Trump bills in.
Donald Trump's government has overturned guidance which allowed transgender pupils to use toilets matching their gender identity, though at least one state, California, has said they won't comply.
Sarah McBride, Congressperson Sarah McBride, elect from Delaware, from using, here she goes, here's Congresswoman Mace. Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
And it doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
The rules, which were issued by his predecessor, Barack Obama, had been hailed as a victory for transgender rights.
Aggressive move, was that a wise move from Donald Trump?
It was a common sense move, honestly.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
But should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
What makes it common?
It's not targeted at one specific person, son of a bitch. They said all of them, right? All of them. He was just the person that happened to be like if you're going to make a law, it has to be an example of something. He was just an example of how somebody can be violating somebody's rights inside the Capitol building, right? We're going to stop this shit before it starts because it's going to be probably some more you motherfuckers voting in with all this liberal shit, right? So we're going to stop this in the butt right now and say we're not going to have this. Nancy May say, yeah, I'm not having it. Should we target one person? Yeah.
And
should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
What makes it common sense?
The fact that you're either a boy or a girl, and that's just how it is.
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this.
Transgendered people would say that's not the case at all, that you can be born one gender and then realize that you want to live another, or you need to live another.
I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no.
With all due respect, just because you think something doesn't take away from the fact.
I'm not going to stand.
I'm not going to have no penis in a locker room. Hell no, I'm not having no penis in a locker room. You think I'm going to have a penis in a locker room? Huh? While I'm changing and getting dressed? You can't change the fact. You can't change fact. And that's what Democrats want to do, right? They want to change facts. They want to change history.
private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no.
With all due respect, just because you think something doesn't take away from the fact.
I am not going to stand for it. And the speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay.
My religious beliefs as a young Christian woman, it's just what I believe in.
I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker,
end of story.
And my beliefs should never be taken less seriously than someone else's because I'm not a liberal.
And by
it's only the liberal rights that really matter. None of your rights, all the liberal rights, all the abortion rights, all the woman rights, all the legal alien rights, right? Every right that the Democrats push, if it ain't liberal or if it ain't them, you're a victim, right? If you're black, you're a victim. If you're gay, you're a victim. If you're trans, you're a victim. If you're a woman, you're a victim, right? Everybody liberal got some kind of victim class. I'm in this class. I'm in this class. I'm in that class. Huh? I'm in the gay class. I'm in the celebrity class. Right? I'm in the gay class. I'm in the trans class. And they showed you what class they was in when they done the gays for Kamala, the blacks for Kamala, the whites for Kamala, the celebrities for Kamala. Right? They showed you the Asians Kamala, the white women for Kamala. They showed you their groups. They showed you how they separate groups and they really don't fuck with each other in their community. They wasn't all together. You saw everybody under Donald Trump under one umbrella. He didn't separate no group. You didn't see them over. I mean, blacks with Trump, that was just something that was like because people said that people don't like Donald Trump, so that was just like a saying. But you didn't see black people separating themselves. Well, it's a black thing. Oh, we want to have a black thing. No, we want to have a gay for Trump. We want to have an Asian for Trump. We want to have a white man for Trump. They wouldn't have never got away with no shit like that. We only gonna have a white man for Trump. But like they say, get all the rights. She's like, hell no, I'm not finna fight that. I'm not finna let that happen.
And less seriously than someone else's because I'm not a liberal.
And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women.
The Bureau of Prison argued what I'm saying right now, that if you put this person in a female prison, there will be a risk of sexual assault to the women.
Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
And you know,
women willing to kill. We would kill. Right? We would kill. Right? If everybody said you put these people, right, in certain areas with certain women, you increase the chances of a percentage of a rape. That's a stat. And the jailhouse with the men prison and all those stuff proves it. It's a stat. And it's common fucking sense.
You know what you did? You said you didn't care about the women.
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect.
And I'm going to quote what you wrote. You wrote, quote, the Bureau of Prisons claim penological interest in protecting female prisoners from sexual violence and trauma. This interest is legitimate. That's kind of you to say.
Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
But there are no signs that petitioner is at risk of reoffending.
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect.
The record is devoid of evidence of incidents of violence or assault during petitioner's incarceration when she was the perpetrator, only the victim. A theoretical risk of sexual assault by the prisoner without more cannot support the BOP's position. No evidence, theoretical.
Right? So what they're saying is because this transgender man done his crimes as a man, he has no intentions to commit these same crimes as a woman. That's her basics. That's her ideology, thesis, you might want to call. That's what it sums up to, right? All them words sums up to he committed the crimes as a man with the boy and the girl and the kid, right? And when he was doing all the pornography and stuff like that, he was a man, right? But now, as a transgender, this serial rapist doesn't have the same tendencies, right? So what happens was when his brain changed to a woman, so did his sexual tendencies, right? So now this 6'2" man who had sex with little kids, both men and women, had collection of pornography of men viciously raping little kids, is all of a sudden reformed because he's trans. Wow.
I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms.
Have you dealt in what universe is someone who is a serial repeat child rapist not at a risk of reoffending?
And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Senator, as I do in every case.
I know you've been told to repeat the line, I follow the law.
Congresswoman, Thank you, Congressman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira.
You don't want no more of that conversation like, thank you. It's like, you are crazy. If you think a man should be in any woman's space, you are crazy. Like, what defense do you have for that? Like, what? How could you even put up a defense for that? Like, it don't even sound logical. To me, as a real man and as an alpha male, and how I was raised by my grandfather and raised by women and respect women, I can never imagine that. Me responding saying, hey, but a man should be able to use a woman's bathroom or go in a woman's locker room or be in a woman's prison. I would never say, as a man, it just doesn't sound logical, and I don't understand how people would actually argue the point that it's fair that women being in that men being in women's sports is fair to women. I mean, the logic is like, do you even hear yourself? Like, I don't even think, and it's so frustrating because it's hard to even believe some of these people are fucking serious. Like, do you believe yourself? Or like when he said the point, like, do you think it should be a legislation passed for one woman? Like, whoa. Who said one woman? It's a transgender bill. It has nothing to do with no fucking one woman. It has something to do with every person that fits that category that shouldn't go in that fucking bathroom. That's what it has to do. We're gonna do this in men's and versus and women's. No. I said, we need to get the fuck up out of here.
So I asked a question. In what universe is someone who is a serial repeat child rapist not at risk of reoffending?
Sir, I looked at the facts that were before.
I looked at the facts before me. There's no evidence. There's no evidence in the world that can support a serial rapist, right, is not at risk of being a repeat offender, right? It's not no evidence that people that are of a certain gender or a certain preference are not mentally disturbed, right? And are not perverts. It has to be some type of perversion. Like look at a teacher in Canada walked around students with the big ass titties, right? In history class or wood class. I mean, it has to be some type of perversion when you want to do that in front of kids. And we understand that those stuff, like we're not complaining on those stuff, but you want to do that stuff to kids, or when you want to invade women's property. If you oh my God, it is hard to say. You have to understand. Like much you want to be a man, you're not. You're not. You just can't invade women's space like that. It's like and I've had people that argue the point, and I don't know what to tell them. I'll be like, do you even hear yourself right now when you talk about women's rights and the person you voted for or the person who you support, what they stand for or on women's rights, right? Do you even understand, right? And if you don't think this is serious, or you don't think this is a bigger women's rights than you don't think men entering women's sports, locker rooms, right? Safety places, bathrooms, right? If you don't think that support that affects more women than the transgender feeling out of place, right? It's being affected. You're sadly mistaken because one trans person can affect 10 people. You got one trans person on a team in a locker room, and it can affect 10 women. So that's one, and all them 10 women can shame him, and all can only affect one trans person. They call him all kind of names. It's still only one person, right? But he can go up in there and not say nothing, nobody, and offend everybody, right? So think about the numbers, and that person numbers multiply everywhere that person go. If you go in another locker room with 15 people, that's another 15 on one, right? So at the end of the day, that's 25 women affected against one person. And like I say, this shit is sick, and it's not funny, but it's hard, and that's why I can never understand why I even supported the Democratic Party, or why I stayed a Democrat that long, or why I believed in the shit I believed in that long, right? And I'm glad I started doing like kind of like Donald Trump videos, start doing research and find out the truth, because if I was believing shit like that, that was a sick way of thinking. Like, and I know I never believed in the transgender shit, but I'm talking about the support people who believe in shit like that. I never believed in the trans shit, the abortion shit, none of that stuff they really believe, the Democratic Party really believe in, the free handouts and all that, the abortion, the border. I never really believed in none of that, right? But going with a party, you got to roll with it or get rolled over. So I'm glad I finally found a party that I knew existed, but I never knew that accepted people like me. You know what I'm saying? And the Republican Party was, they wouldn't accept no nigga like you. They wouldn't support no nigga like you. Right? And you believe that because you brainwashed. And so many people here brainwashed, they don't understand. Like they fight. It's more. You hear them fighting for, even after the election, you hear them fighting for more trans rights than they is black rights. They still not fighting for black rights. They're like, oh, you niggas that voted for us at a high enough at 99%, right? So we're gonna slowly separate ourselves from you niggas. They still not talking about no black rights. They still not talking about what they're gonna do for black people, right? And even though you're voting them out, Donald Trump not saying what he's gonna do for black people. He said we're gonna do for all people. It's different. But they was running on what they was gonna do for black people. They was running on that celebrity shit. They was running on all that shit. Well, now that since they're not voting in, they're not gonna do shit for black people now. They're not gonna stop the Nazi. They're not gonna stop Hitler or nothing. Right? They just gave up until the next 4 years, until they need you again, and throw your ass another concert for what, $2 billion this time? I'm just saying, like, this the shit about a man can have a baby and men have periods, and and this the sick shit about, like, how they say about we ain't got enough citizens, but we want more abortions, and I mean this like, oh my God, like, we want education, but we don't want free choice. just the contradictions of what they say. And the arguments that some people make to even make this shit sound sophisticated or make it sound logical or make it sound like it does make sense. And that shows you it's like everybody have a right to their opinion, but not right to their own facts. Right? And you can have an opinion about something, but you can't have a fact about nothing. And that's what Donald Trump do. He do facts, not opinions. What the Democrats do. Oh, just think of what would have happened. Oh, just imagine. Think of it. If Donald Trump get in office, imagine what would be. If Donald Trump get in office, watch what would happen. If Donald Trump will get in office, this was going to imagine. Besides facts, this is the position you in. You're paying too much. The border too crowded. There's too much crime, right? It's too much immigration. It's too much all that shit. I'm going to help you out. You see it. Not know. If you can look forward, if you can imagine when in office you're going to do this, if you can imagine, no. Facts and opinions. You have a right to your opinion, but you don't have a right to your facts. Right? So when you have an argument with somebody with facts, right? And all they got is opinions or emotion, it's hard for them to make a point because they run on emotion, so they're not going to let you talk or make a point, right? And it's hard for you, to talk because they don't want to hear what you got to talk about. They won't cut you off, and you know what I'm saying, and not let you repeat. I mean, and you don't even want to talk that long, right? You just want to state some facts. Facts don't take a lot of talking. Opinions do. I can hit you with a fact in less than 30 seconds. You can't finish your opinion in over 5. Right? So that's the difference between facts and opinions. Opinions, everybody got one. Fact is, everybody living in one. You can lie about your fact. You can lie about your situation. I'm not in the situation I'm in, but something in your head like, yes, you is. You are broke. You are lonely, right? You are mean. You are stingy, right? You are mean-hearted. You know it. But if you're a good person, you also know that, right? So a person can tell you anything about you, a Nazi, you a racist. You're like, I know I'm not a fucking Nazi. I'm not a fucking racist. You have the same reaction, but it's the opposite reaction, right? Sometimes you know people are talking about you, and sometimes you know people are not talking about you because what? Facts and opinions. Somebody have a fact about you, it's going to either hurt you or going to make you feel good. If somebody have an opinion about you, it's either going to hurt you or you're not even going to give a fuck. Who gives a fuck about an opinion about me when I know the facts about me? You feel me? So that's why nobody's able to, like, when I'm in a comedy thing or something like that, nobody's able to get the best of me because there's nothing you can say about me that I can't say about myself, right? And there's nothing you can say about that that's going to hurt me to the point, right? That I'm going to feel bad about it because even if it is a fact, I probably done told myself about it 100 times before you did. You know what I'm saying? So I'm truthful with myself before you can be truthful with me and try to hurt me. And that's the difference between opinions and facts. But let me get up out of here with happy, you know what I'm saying, the tune man. I gotta call my boy Tom and see was he able to get on because I don't see his damn name in the damn chat, and I done paid for this channel and stuff like that. But I will be back tomorrow. You can push that like button, or you can push that share button, you can that comment button, but push the reminder button so you know what time I come on tomorrow, because I don't know what time I come on tomorrow. And the only person that know what time I come on tomorrow is Miss Chocolate and Coco, because whenever they ready, we ready. So the best person to ask when we come on tomorrow is Miss Chocolate and Coco. Don't ask me shit. Say, answer right now. Say, Miss Chocolate and Coco, what time are you coming on? Hey, Miss Black Barbie. My bad, Sherry K. No people in the so tell her, Miss Coco, don't ask me shit. Miss Coco say, wait an hour. We gotta wait an hour. We gotta wait an hour. She ain't ready. She ain't upstairs yet. We gotta wait a whole nother hour. Look. What time y'all ready? Look. She putting the bid in. What time y'all ready? She getting the bid in right now. So she can get ready. Like, what time y'all ready? We can get it cracking. Thanks, Okie Dean. Happy to see you again. I got another channel. Let me go to my other channel, because we got some people on the other channel that I gotta give a shout out to. You know what I'm saying? On the other channel, who on there? Together We Break is on there. Bobby! Look at Charlie Jones. Betty Boop 2000. Javier Hardiman is on here. On there, right? Okie Dean was on there. MB Garbage, Freshman to the Bone. Eugene Norris. Ooh, I got some people over there too. Bobby! Next! Oh, that's coming back, Bobby. That's coming back, right? I got a live show. I just sealed the deal. I was talking to Tom. I got a live show that I'm gonna do on January 5th. It's gonna be a music show, but I'm gonna be doing my comedy. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, little comedy game show and stuff. It's gonna be my first thing. I already sealed the deal yesterday. January 25th. Mark it down. This is Saturday. Mark it down on the calendar. It's gonna be something live. I'm gonna talk to my cameraman probably tomorrow. He was doing something yesterday, so I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna make my flyers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be giving out prizes and stuff like that. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna invest in myself with the next evolution of my comedy with my club, and then next thing is gonna be the movie and stuff like that. So I'm investing in myself. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank y'all for supporting me. You know what I'm saying? And I will see y'all. Oh, let me go back to the chat. I don't give a shout out. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peter, what's up, Peter? Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin. Yeah, tune in tomorrow. I'll be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said. You know how Arnold Schwarzenegger get out. I'll be back.